Welcome to the XTenCHO Race walkthrough. In this video, we will guide you step by step through the complete protocol covering culturing, transfection, and cryopreservation of XTenCHO race cells. Let's start by unboxing your kit. Inside, you'll find XTenCHO race cells, XTenFect reagent stock solution, XTenFect reagent working solution, XTenCHO race enhancer, PX10-1 expression vector, antibody expression positive control vector, XTenCHO expression medium. With everything ready, let's move to the laboratory to begin. Before we begin the protocol, let's go over some essential tips to ensure the best possible results when working with XTenCHO race cells. Always follow good cell culture practices. Wear appropriate protective equipment such as gloves, a lab coat, hair cover, and face mask. Respect aseptic conditions and ensure sterility of all the materials, and clean your cell culture hood and work surfaces thoroughly with 70% ethanol before starting. To maintain high cell viability, handle cells gently by mixing through smooth rotations, avoiding vigorous pipetting or shaking as much as possible. Verify the settings of your rotary incubator. Temperature should be maintained at 37 degrees Celsius. Ensure relative humidity is at least 80%. CO2 levels should be precisely 5%. Use freshly thawed cells and allow them to recover in culture for 3 or more passages before transfecting. Please do not use XTenCHO race cells aged more than 20 passages for transfection to keep optimal transfection efficiency and yields. By following these steps, you'll set the stage for optimal growth and successful protein expression. Now, let's move on to subculturing your XTenCHO race cells. XTenCHO race cells are capable of achieving high cell densities. Therefore, we recommend that the cells reach a density of 1.5 to 2.5 times 10 to the power of 6 viable cells per milliliter at the time of subculturing. Determine the viable cell density, VCD, and calculate the volume needed for reseeding. Recommended seeding densities will depend on the subculture timing. For cells ready 2 days post-subculture, 0.3 times 10 to the power of 6 viable cells per milliliters. For cells ready 3 days post-subculture, 0.2 to 0.3 times 10 to the power of 6 viable cells per milliliters. Centrifuge the culture at 300 times G for 5 minutes, discard the supernatant, and resuspend the cells in fresh XTenCHO expression medium supplemented with 8 millimolar L-glutamine and transfer them into a baffled shake flask. Add anti-clumping agent at a final concentration of 0.5%. Incubate the cells on an orbital shaker platform until cultures reach a density of 1.5 times 10 to the power of 6 to 2.5 times 10 to the power of 6 viable cells per milliliter, and check recommended volumes and shaking speeds. This ensures the culture is ready for transfection or further amplification. Repeat these steps to maintain and amplify cells for transfection. On day -1, prepare the cells for transfection. Split the XTenCHO race culture to a density of 1.2 million cells per milliliter in XTenCHO expression medium supplement with 8 millimolar of L-glutamine but without anti-clumping agent. Incubate the flask at 37 degrees Celsius with 5% CO2 and shaking for 24 hours to allow the cells to grow. On day 0, proceed with transfection. Assess the cell density and viability. The cells should have attained a density of approximately 2 to 3 million viable cells per milliliters, and viability should be superior to 90% to proceed with transfection. Centrifuge, then resuspend XTenCHO race cells in a vented baffled flask at a final density of 5 million viable cells per milliliter in half of the final volume wanted with fresh XTenCHO expression medium supplemented with 8 millimolar of L-glutamine but without anti-clumping agent, following the guidelines indicated in the table. Swirl to mix the cells. Prepare the working solution of XTenFect reagent by pipetting 160 microliter of XTenFect reagent stock solution into 1 tube of XTenFect reagent working solution and mix by inversion. Avoid freeze-thaw cycle. Do not forget to aliquot your XTenFect reagent stock solution. Thaw the expression plasmids and mix them by inverting the tubes. Add the expression plasmids directly on the cells in a row. There's no need to complex DNA and XTenFect reagent working solution. Refer to the table to determine the quantity depending on your transfection volume. Gently swirl to mix. Add XTenFect reagent drop by drop to the cells while gently swirling the flask. Refer to the table to determine the quantity depending on your transfection volume. Incubate the transfected cells at 37 degrees Celsius with 5% CO2 and shake for 2 hours. So now, let's use the XTenCHO Race enhancer. After 2 hours of incubation, add the other half volume of XTenCHO expression medium supplemented with 8 millimolar L-glutamine to the culture. Add the required volume of XTenCHO Race enhancer directly on the cells. Refer to the table to determine enhancer volume. Check cell viability. Please note that it is normal to observe a drop, but viability should not be under 80% at this point. Return the cells to the 37 degrees Celsius incubator with a humidified atmosphere containing 5% CO2 on an orbital shaker. On day 1, post-transfection. 24 hours after the transfection, add the anti-clumping agent at a final concentration of 0.5% and gently swirl during the process. You can check cell viability. Please note that it is normal to observe a drop, but viability should not be under 60% at this point. Shift the incubation temperature of the incubator from 37 degrees Celsius to 33 degrees Celsius before putting back the flask, or put into an incubator already at 33 degrees Celsius. From day 8 to day 15. Monitor cell density and viability regularly in the cultures and maintain transfected cells culture until viability drops under 50% or until day 15 post-transfection. Please note that the average time may vary depending on the expressed protein. You need to adapt the times at which you harvest cells or media to optimize the length of the expression run. Harvest cultures by centrifugation for 5 minutes at 300 G to pellet cells. For recombinant proteins expected to be expressed intercellularly, keep and freeze cell pellets at -80 degrees Celsius for further analysis. For proteins secreted into the expression medium, further clarify the supernatant by centrifugation for 30 minutes at 5,000 times G and/or filtration using a 0.22 micron membrane. You can then proceed quickly with the purification or freeze supernatants at -80 degrees Celsius for later use. With XTenCHO Race, you have a robust and flexible platform for protein and antibody production. Thank you for choosing Proteogenics as your partner in bioproduction innovation. For further assistance, contact us at support-xtencho@proteogenics.fr.